think of Proverbs 11:25, and it says, "The generous will prosper. He who refreshes others will he himself be refreshed." And when I think of generosity, I think of, it looks like many things, but I think of like the people in my life who just come in and are refreshing in the time they give, in the prayers they pray, in the resources they have blessed me with.
I grew up with the teaching of my father, and my father always say, be generous. Living in the Philippines, we don't have a lot. And so my mentality of being generous is always thinking about money and giving money. But as I grow old, being generous is not just your finances, your time, your talents, everything that you could give to others. You have to give it freely, and you have to be generous on that. So because of that teaching of my father, I try my best to be generous in every way, and I'm teaching my kids to do the same. Sometimes my kids are being generous, more generous than me, because sometimes I question, oh, why you give that person that? And I said, Dad, you taught us how to do that.
I think generosity is very important. I'm from the South, and manners are very important. So at an early age, I was taught if anybody gives you anything, you say thank you. But it was just words saying thank you. As I got older, I had learned that many times the people who were giving you things were really doing a great service for you. And I can think of people who were so generous to me and to my family. And not only in terms of giving money, but in terms of giving time, in terms of giving advice, that I wouldn't be who I am today without that. And I've taken their example and have tried to do the same thing in being generous to other people and making time when people need to talk. I've tried to definitely share in my resources because I have so much more now than I had growing up. And had not other people been willing to, to donate, lend to my family, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I've been able to do in my life.
Generosity is, to me, the very heart of who God is. He gives. It's the nature of love, right? To give generously and abundantly. And to me, a resilient life is one in which we have that capacity to give, sacrificially even when circumstances are difficult, because we know the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I shall want for nothing. And so if I have that bedrock conviction in my heart that my God has everything I need and He's going to provide me everything I need, then I can freely give. And I have a long track record of Him being faithful to me.
Well, hey, Eastside, I'm so glad that you are tracking with us through Building a Resilient Faith series. I hope that you've already seen a difference in your life as you've put some of these practices into your life. Remember that this series is designed to set you up for the long haul. Our sincere hope is that your faith continues to grow and strengthen as you continue to mature, and that on your last day here on earth, your faith is the strongest that it's ever been. Today, we're going to talk about a spiritual practice that I find in the life of every person I admire, and that is the practice of generosity. I mean, just think about it. Imagine the people in your life that you most admire. These are the people you want to emulate. You want their marriage. You want their disposition. You want their kindness. I can guarantee that those people are generous. I can't think of a single moment where I thought to myself, I want to be just like them, and they are so stingy. I want to be just like him, and he is a massive tightwad. No one I admire is selfish with what they have. It's the exact opposite. It's usually their generous spirit that makes them attractive. It's why I like spending time with them. It's why I wish I had more of what they have. And these people have learned to embrace 2 Corinthians 9. Here's what Paul wrote. For God is the one who provides the seed for the farmer and then bread to eat. In the same way, he'll provide and increase your resources and then produce a great harvest of generosity in you. Yes, you will be enriched in every way so that you can always be generous. And when we take your gifts to those who need them, they will thank God. Paul says 3 important things in those 2 verses. First, he says that everything we have comes directly from God. The farmer can till the soil and ensure sunlight and water the crop, but it's God who provided the seed in the first place. God is our perfect Father, loves to provide for his children. All our resources come from him. Second, God has given you resources so that you can be generous. God was generous with us so that we could be generous in return. He didn't give us resources so we could keep them for ourselves, but instead to share them with the world. And finally, when you and I are generous, it will draw people closer to God. They will be grateful because of your generosity. And not only will they be grateful to you, but they'll also thank God. And that is the ultimate reward. God gave us everything we have so that we would be generous. And when we are with people, they will draw closer to God. That is the joy of generosity. So let's talk about what you have. One of the primary objections to generosity is that we just don't think we have much to give. And now would be a good time to remind ourselves that generosity is a matter of our heart, not our circumstances. Our open-handedness does not change in seasons of plenty or in seasons of few. Our opportunity is to be generous no matter what or how much we have. So what do you have? Today, we're going to lock in on 3 things every single one of us has to give: time, talent, and treasure. Let's start with one of your most valuable resources, your time. Every day that we wake up with breath in our lungs, it is a gift from God. You didn't put your breath in there any more than I did. God graciously wakes us up each morning and gives us an opportunity to make a difference wherever we go. But this resource is not unlimited. All of us have a finite lifespan that will someday end, and it's our responsibility to make the most of it. Now, if you're anything like me, there's a word that haunts almost every week of your life, and that's the word busy. You might be a college student with 2 papers due, 3 exams coming, and an internship you have yet to solidify, and you feel so busy. Maybe you're getting your career started and trying to establish yourself, so you're working long hours and you feel busy. You could be like our family with a bunch of kids, and it's just nonstop action, so you feel busy. Or maybe you're retired and you're in grandparent mode and you're actually not busy, you're just tired. Can we all admit something? Sometimes our busyness robs us of opportunities to make a difference. The urgent things trump the important things. Many of us have good intentions that we sincerely hope to get to someday. And I just wonder, why wait? God has given you the gift of time, a limited time, and it's your opportunity to use it. We all have time, and we also have talent. I'm not talking about those secret talents that no one in the group knows about, although those might be cool to share at the end of your group. I'm talking about your spiritual gifts. If you want to see a list of the gifts and which one you might have, take some time this week and read 1 Corinthians 12. And there you'll see that the church is at its most beautiful when each member is fully using their gift. God made you good at something. You might be an expert host because you have the gift of hospitality. You might be the person all your friends turn to for advice because you have the gift of discernment. Or maybe you encourage those around you because you've been given the gift of faith. God made you good at something. And so the big two questions to ask about your talent is, what did God make you good at? And how can you use that talent for Him? The reason God gave you that gift is so that you would use that for the benefit of others. So are you using it? Because here's why I'm asking. Eastside, as a church, is incomplete unless you're using your talents. God has you here for a reason, in this season, for a purpose. And we're not fully the church God called us to be until you're in the game. And maybe today is the day. The final resource you've been given directly from God is your treasure. It's your money. It's your stuff. And one of the primary challenges we have when it comes to financial generosity is that we're under the illusion that we got this stuff by ourselves. We earned it. It's our name on the paycheck, and it goes right into our bank account. But remember Paul's words in 2 Corinthians, God is the source of our stuff. It originates with Him. You and I have the distinct privilege of being temporary managers for a short period of time. And God has given us the incredible opportunity, not obligation, but opportunity of being generous with our resources. So one more time, generosity is not a condition of our circumstances, it's a condition of our heart. And when we develop the disposition of generosity, just watch how joy quickly follows after. You see, that's how generosity develops resilience. So when we proactively give of our time, our talent, and our treasure, we've developed an open-handed posture in advance. So when the storms of life come, and they certainly will, an open-handed posture can adjust with the ebbs and flows. A tight-fisted posture will experience pain and disruption and loss. The heart of generosity proactively postures us to be open-handed, flexible, and malleable, because we understand that this was all a gift in the first place, that we temporarily manage, and we get to make a difference with whatever God has given us.